I am so freaking tired after a long day in the nether. Time to get some coffee at the Coffee All Things Cafe. Where in the heck are the baristas? Jeez. These kids these days. Guess I'll have to serve myself. So I want some coffee and a little bit of sweetener. Wait for it to brew. Ah.
You know, this is, excuse me, a damn fine cup of coffee.
I feel better already. Let's get to mining. Hello and welcome to Miner Thoughts. We are here today again in the Coffee All Things Cafe designed by Reimagined. And today we are going to learn about blasting because I have been a real boomer. I was on a blasting crew in real life. So maybe today we will all learn something. Maybe the boomers on Hermitcraft will learn something too. Tango, you might learn something. Impulse, you too. And BOOMER, you may even learn something too. Here today on Miner Thoughts. Let's get to it. Oh wow, hey look, you guys are back. What, were you on break or something? Jeez. But before we get started, I want to show you something really cool here in this building that I showed off in the last video in the world tour, the server tour. This building that Reimagined is working on using different designs with terracotta and banners and such. She's been to the nether, and boy did she ever start getting some building materials. Look at this. This is totally her design and I am just amazed. The floor, the walls, the lighting, everything. This right here is a spot to grow the different types of trees. We get the mushrooms and grow it on the appropriate sand and it'll grow the appropriate tree. Only problem is it goes straight through the roof. Obsidian does not stop it. So that's one thing that we have to deal with, but that's okay. But if we head on down here, we've got another room and it's sort of the same design and I just think it's freaking awesome. And here in the middle, I built something for her out of redstone. It's a way to get the mushrooms to plant the trees. So you just hit this lever here, and you've got mushrooms. But you can't use all this material. You can't use all of it. So what we've got here is a way to bone meal these items, the roots, and in turn use them for the little mini farm, little micro farm, and they turn into bone meal. And we just take the fungus back up top and we can use them for planting the trees. A little storage here. So that's that. That's awesome, and I just wanted to show that off. So let's just get right into the blasting. As you remember over here, we have our site set up for the future concrete machine slash batch plant. And in blasting, as you know, we have to do what we had done over there. Reimagine and I took down the overburden to the rock. And that's something that we have to do in real life to prep for blasting. So let's get into it. Okay, so now the overburden is all removed, and we've got a flying squid there in the distance from the squid farm. But never mind that. The next thing we need to do is build a retaining wall where this border is. A lot of times when you blast within city limits, they do a retaining wall just to prevent fly rock from flying up in the air, hitting buildings, hitting people, hitting sheep, and other things. So what we are going to use for a retaining wall is going to be endstone and obsidian. Some people don't know that endstone has a blast resistance. It is not 100% blast resistant, but it'll provide some resistance so we can contain all this blasting in this area and not make a huge mess, hopefully. And then on the top, we are going to put obsidian in 2 layers. So I'll get that done and I'll bring you back in. So that's all done. We've got our retaining wall built for the blast right here, and it goes about 10 levels down. You can see here we got endstone on the perimeter where we want to contain the blast, and it goes all the way down about 10 levels. And that's just to contain this blast within city limits. And then metal plates are put up around to further contain the blast. So that's what we're simulating here with the obsidian as the metal plates and the endstone as the concrete going down. So let's put that back in and get out of here. And then the next thing we have to do is lay out the shot. This is going to be a vertical shot, vertical shaft design, and what we use in that instance is a burn round. In a burn round, you have empty holes in the center which the material will collapse to. And I'll get into that more once we start blasting and laying out the timings and the TNT. So let me find the center here and then I'll bring you back in. Okay, so we found the center of our shot, and this is where the burn will be. Where this yellow concrete powder is where we will put the TNT in, and right next to that we will have some drill holes. Now these holes will be empty. Then we'll have additional holes surrounding the center, the burn, which will collapse into the center. In theory, that's the way it works in the real world. We have the burn in the center. These go off first, and then the surrounding ones go off in sequence, collapsing into the center. So let's lay out the rest of this shot. Okay, so we've got the shot laid out here, and this is where the holes will be drilled and filled with TNT. And in real life we use a drill similar to this. Let me get those holes drilled and then I'll bring you back in. Okay, so we have our holes drilled and now we're ready to start placing explosives in the holes. But first I'd like to go over these different explosive products I've used in real life. First is the explosive itself. In Minecraft we use TNT. TNT in real life is unstable. It doesn't like to be bumped. And in old Minecraft it did not like to be bumped. But we can easily pick it up anymore. Just don't want to place any redstone next to it. So what we use in real life, what I've used in real life, has been emulsion tubes. And that's mostly to do with this type of application. It's emulsified explosives in a tube and it's water resistant, and we're able to do a controlled blast using these sticks. Next thing is a detonator, and well, we don't want to put that right next to that TNT. That would be a bad day. But this is what we'll use to detonate the TNT initially in the holes. So let's just call this the blasting cap itself. And then next we have the delay. Now each of these will be set to a delay. These in the center going off first, and then the next row, the next circle, will be set to a 2-tick delay, and then the 3-tick delay on the outer edge, like so. So these in real life are considered a non-electric blasting cap. These will give your delay to set off the explosives. And last but not least, we've got our detonation cord. And that's what ties all these delays in together. So we will be placing detonation cord at the very end to tie all these in together and then set the whole thing off. Should be hopefully pretty good show. So yeah, that's the blasting products we're going to use in each hole, and I'm going to put probably about 8 or 9 tubes of the TNT in each hole, except for 2 open holes left open in the center, which is the burn. So I'll get that done, and I will once again bring you back when it's all done. And we're back. So all the explosives are in the holes. The blasting caps are set. Now we need to set the delays for each hole. But let me show you real quick what I've got going on over here, just to explain how this is going to work. We've got a piston, sticky piston, pushing the blasting cap down into the explosives and thus igniting them. Our delay on the blasting cap will be set according to the repeater here. So we've got 1 tick, 2 ticks, 3 ticks, or 4 ticks, depending on what we want. So we just press the lever and down goes the piston into the explosives, but not really. And then we can change it and give ourselves just a little bit more delay for each hole. See, slight delay. Anyway, what we got next is a little segment I like to call Boomers in Real Life. Tango, Impulse, and B-dubs, I'm going to teach you something today. So let's get to it. Impulse, master of the shovel shuffle. We'll start off with you. Sand in real life is important in blasting. Not only for the construction of the explosives, but also to control the blast. So what we need to do here in this blast area is cover the entire thing in sand. The reason why we do that is to help control the blast, muffle the sound, and not make a general mess of everything and have rock flying up everywhere, hitting buildings, hitting the sheep, and other things. So I'm going to place sand throughout this whole thing, and then once I've got it all covered, I will once again bring you back in. And we're back. So we've got the entire area covered in sand. Again, this is to help control the blast, muffle the sound, and prevent fly rock. Fly rock is bad. No hitting the sheep, no hitting the buildings. So what we got now is gravel. Gravel is used in real life to do what we call stemming. Stemming the holes is to help prevent gases from escaping from the explosives from shooting out the hole. It helps all that impact, all that explosion stay underneath. The impact goes down and out instead of coming out of the hole. So we're going to stem all these holes real quick. And then I'll do that. I think we got everything. That was quick. And now to set the timings for each hole. TangoTek, here's where you come in. Timing in real life is important in blasting. Well, we're going to use these repeaters right here to set the timings for this blast. But Tango, you already knew that, didn't you? Because you are, sir, the head blaster of the Boomers, the master blaster. So let's set the timings, and I'll be back when I've got that done. Okay, so you can see how we have all our repeaters set in here, and we're going to time this shot out. With those non-electric blasting caps, you have delays set for each hole. Center being the first to go off, the burn round, the burn, and then the outer holes will go in sequence. So we're going to start off in the center being a 1 tick delay. We want these to go off very first. Then these next area we want to go off next. And then last but not least, the outer holes we want to go off very last. So we will set those to a 3 tick delay. And then I think that's all of them. Just check that real quick. And yeah. So then with the redstone lines, we will tie this all in and get ready for the shot. Okay, so now we have everything tied in, all our timings timed in. This is the detonation cord, the cord that will set off all these hopefully at the same time, and we'll see something spectacular, hopefully. But I haven't got it hooked up there. We don't want any happy accidents. So, last but not least, B-double-O. What can I say? my dude. Minimum safe distance is required in real blasting. Seriously. B-dubs, you need to be Mr. Safety of the boomers. Keep safe distance away from the blast. Watch out for that fly rock. Protect the sheep, like the one behind me. So, are you all ready for this? Oh wait, there's one more thing. One more thing we need to do to prepare for the blast. And I'll show you why. Here is a real shaft round blast. So, just like that real-life blast clip I showed you, one thing you might have noticed was the blast mats. They are metal mats that go over the blast to help muffle the sound and prevent the dreaded fly rock. So what we're going to use in that case is iron blocks and cover the shot here with a curtain, a covering of iron blocks. Courtesy of the TangoTek Season 7 iron farm I built underground over there. Tango, that thing is at one level and still spits out the iron. It's awesome. Thank you, sir. So let's get started, and then I'll be back when this is done. Okay, so we've got the blast mat using iron blocks in place, and everything is primed and ready to go. Timings are set. Detonation cord tied into the non-electric blasting caps. TNT in. We're ready to go. Just got to set this last little piece of redstone, and we'll be ready to blast. But before we do that, just a public service announcement. In real life, you must be either licensed or authorized to handle real explosives. This is not something you do at home. But in Minecraft, we can blast to our heart's content. So let's get on with it. Sound the blast warning siren. Wow, well that was not expected. Let's see how the shot went. A little bit of a mess. Not too bad. If this was the real world, this would be unacceptable. So let's go take a look at what we have. Oh God. What have I done?